And then in terms of, I mean, that's my biases because that's where I live and that's what I see from, that's my world with my neighbors.
Actually, that was my area. I grew up on Caroline Street, so I'm very concerned about that area.
Is that when you go door to door, and you said you covered 70% of
roughly about 70% of the homes.
What's the most common issue you hear from people? Is there any one theme, or maybe there isn't, or maybe it differs
depending on the area. Depending on the area, it's crime, education, taxes, and financing.
Okay, and there are two things because I know I have a son who's about to turn 1, so I want the Derby School District to be Harvard, and I want my kid to have a great education.
Everyone does,
and at the same time, I don't want to pay any taxes.
Right.
There's that.
You have to find the balancing act, and quite frankly, what we intend to do is search out for small businesses to come into Derby. Not just retail, but there's other areas other than the downtown where we can attract business, which will stabilize the mill rate. As you may know, our grand list remained practically stagnated this past year. Education. It's not acceptable for people to pay taxes and then have to send their children to a private school, which is costing an additional sum of money. What we propose to do is establish a task force to look at all aspects of Derby services to see if we can provide them better at a lower cost. Also, I'm not against regionalization. I mean, Derby is a very small city, and there's other cities in the area that possibly we could regionalize, cut costs, and provide additional programs for our children.
Now you're keyed into the I'm assuming you're keyed into what's going on in Derby schools based on the fact that you were there just a short time ago.
Yes.
You have a family member who's a teacher in there.
Yes, my children went through.
They all went through Derby schools.
One of my grandchildren attends Derby schools.
So you're a much better seat than I do. I was a little surprised when you announced your candidacy that kind of it wasn't education. Was there a reason, or is that
no
false?
No. I just didn't want to concentrate on education. I wanted to be a mayor of the entire city in all aspects, not just education. Well, to be quite frank with you, the mayor does not have as much power with the Board of Education as he or she may like.
Okay.
But as the mayor, we can encourage people to get involved, not just at tax time, but throughout the year, attending meetings. And in my literature, I did say that I would personally attend.
That brings up a good point. That it appears there's sometimes tension or a wall between the alderman and the Board of Ed. Do you feel that's? I bring that up. I mean, sometimes they'll do the Board of Education report, and and that's Tony Spinelli coming in for work. They'll do the Board of Aldermen will do the education report, and maybe the superintendent is there or is not there. I mean, right. Sometimes there's you see eyes rolling among certain members of the Board of Aldermen, but I've seen it happen, but the superintendent or school official is not there because they have a meeting the same exact night. Do you think there should be more done to bring those two groups together?
Well, I can't speak for the present Board of Aldermen, but my slate of candidates have been assured by me that they can personally vote on any issue based on what they feel is best for Derby. And many of them are former students of the school system. They do support education. It's a fine slate. We have a number of different people from lawyers, doctors, blue-collar workers, business people on the different boards, and I believe that with their help, we will change the culture in Derby.
And the last go-around, I believe you were 400 votes short? 300 votes?
A little more. No, I believe it was 411.
Okay. Have you tracked down those 411 people yet?
We're trying to. We're trying to. That's our goal is not just to win, but to convince people that we can do a better job.
And I've heard that the third ward decides Derby's elections. You know, people talking, just kind of political people talking about where it is. And that's a tough ward, I would think, because that's where the Republicans are sort of entrenched. Are you concentrating a lot? Like, in the next few weeks, is that a ward you start to walk in daily?
No, we're concentrating on all three wards. Quite frankly, the third ward was not the ward that hurt me the most. It was a different one.
Okay. So I'm getting totally false information.
No.
That's fine.
The third ward at one time used to be entirely Democratic, but over the course of years, many independents are there. So yes, you do have to win the independents.
Okay.